Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome into this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. I'm your fearless leader, Tyler Jones, here with you. Thanks for joining us. Big Red, Andy Reid, has teased a big role for a certain standout from OTAs and minicamp. We'll tell you who that is and what that role is coming up in just a matter of moments here on today's show. Before we go any further, folks, we are getting close to the end of the month of June, and I want to do something that we have not done for the entire month, and that is get 1,000 likes on a video. It would be our record for the month of June. So if you want to make this a record-setting day, if you want to make me happy, as I'm already thrilled about my Oklahoma City Thunder winning the NBA championship last night, do me a favor and smash that like button, and we will get started with today's show. Tyquan Thornton is who we are focusing our attention on here on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report after he had a breakout performance in OTAs and in minicamp. And Chiefs head coach Andy Reid has talked about an increased role for Tyquan Thornton. Now, before we show you what Big Red had to say and get into these specifics when it comes to Tyquan Thornton, let's preface this by saying that a few things need to happen first. Number one, he's got to make the team for that to occur. And number two, he's going to have to show some consistency and beat out a couple of guys to do that. But nonetheless, based on what we saw the last couple of weeks, he's at least on the very right track to do so. Here's more from Andy Reid. I like Taekwon. I like the way he approached things. He's got the quarterback's trust, which is a positive thing. You have valuable reps in here. The other guys could see that he's a talented guy. So far, so good again. I'd like to see him in a game situation, how he held. I would anticipate him doing a nice job, and we'll see where we are with that. No question about it, he's got some talent, folks. Former second-round pick out of Baylor. He looks the part, and we'll go over the measurables here in just a moment. When it comes to Tyquan Thornton, I don't think anybody, when you look at him, has questioned his ability, but we just haven't seen him put it all together. And this is not, I would say, an odd thing. It happens all the time in the National Football League where you have some late bloomers, where you have some guys that maybe don't get off to the best of starts and are in bad situations, or they just have bad luck, and that very well may be the case for Tyquan Thornton here. Now, with that said, when you compare him to the guys that he's potentially competing with for a spot in the roster, the 53-man roster, and in the wide receiver room for Kansas City, I think he and Nikko are pretty close. But I'll say this much. I'm definitely higher on him than I am Skyy Moore. I don't think it's close between him and Skyy Moore. If that's what the decision comes down to, I think it's a pretty easy decision. But if it involves Nikko, the things I think are pretty close between those two at this point. Let's ask you, will Tyquan Thornton make the Chiefs' 53-man roster? Predict it for me. You got two options here in our pinned comment today. Type Y for yes, in for no. Weigh in and tell us what you think. Folks, want to make sure you're subscribed to the Kansas City Chiefs Report as we're bringing you daily news and rumors. We have live shows each and every week. We are bringing you breaking news, Q&A mailbags. Your one-stop shop for all things Kansas City Chiefs is the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Do us a favor. Subscribe now to the channel for free. Doesn't cost you a thing. I know we can get at least 20 subs off today's video. Stay up to date with everything happening as there's no off-season here on the channel. We got you covered. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. Subscribe now. You'll be glad you did. All right, let's tell you more about Tyquan Thornton, the former second-round pick out of Baylor. He was previously with the New England Patriots. And in New England, he showed some flashes, but he struggled to stay on the football field with the injuries that occurred. And I know that some people right away are going to use this as a knock against him and say, hey, look, New England has not had a very good receiving core the last few years. If he could not get on the field in New England, why on earth would he get on the field in Kansas City? And I think that's a very fair question to ask. But as you look into the details and what exactly has gone on, then you can start to connect the dots and see why things necessarily didn't work out and why there could be a second chance potentially here for Tyquan Thornton to work out in Kansas City. Let's go over the numbers for Tyquan Thornton. And you can see, you go back to his rookie season, and in 2022, 22 catches, 247 yards, 2 touchdowns, over 11 yards for reception. It wasn't bad. But since then, he has been banged up a lot and missed a lot of time. 2023, just 13 catches, 91 yards, 7 yards of reception. Last year, just a total of 4 catches for 47 yards and close to 12 yards a reception. And here's some more of that context we're talking about here. This is what teams like when it comes to Tyquan Thornton. He looks the part, right? 6'2", 185. That's a very good frame for a wide receiver in this league. There's no problems with that there. The raw speed is there. Now, you go back to the 2022 NFL Draft Combine, and he was believed to have run a 4.21, but then later they went back to the replay and whatnot, and that was recalculated as a 4.28. But either way, hella fast, if I'd say so myself. And here's the injury concerns. He was placed on IR not once but twice in New England in 2022 and in 2023. So for a young guy, he's been pretty banged up, and he was banged up a bit at Baylor. However, when he was with the Baylor Bears, his 2021 season, he led Baylor in catches with 62, also had 10 receiving touchdowns, and was named a second-team All-Big 12 selection there in 2021 as well. So, when he was last healthy and at the college level, he made an impact. He had a very good season there. To me, the key is health here with Tyquan Thornton. That's what it comes down to. If Tyquan Thornton can stay healthy, and it's a big if, then I think he could have a significant role. But we have not seen much of that. And then you may be wondering, okay, well, let's check off the first box. Let's say that he can stay healthy. What does that exactly look like? Where can he fit in to what the Kansas City Chiefs are trying to do? Well, the folks at Clutch Points laid it out this way. The wide receiver pecking order in Kansas City is mostly settled, but Tyquan Thornton is making noise. The former second-round pick by the New England Patriots spent most of last season on the Chiefs practice squad. Now he's vying for the wide receiver 6 role, and based on what we've seen at minicamp, he's got a real shot. Thornton's blazing speed was once his calling card in pre-draft process. Now it has finally translated on the field, especially in Reid's offense. They thrive on vertical threats and field-stretching speed. He's been catching deep balls from Mahomes regularly during 11-on-11 drills and has essentially inherited the route tree that once belonged to Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Justin Watson. This could be a good fit because when you look at the Chiefs receiving core right now of filling that MVS Justin Watson type role, there's not an obvious answer for that at this point in time down deep in the depth chart, right? Sure, you're going to be able to stretch the field more now with, getting Hollywood Brown healthy and using Xavier Worthy's speed and all that. But as far as having a guy further down the depth chart, you got some speed guys like Nikko and Skyy. He could offer something different and add another dimension to this offense potentially. And he can help out on special teams as well, which also is going to be, I think, a determining factor that bodes well for Nikko. And Skyy Moore, they've tried on special teams before, but at least keeps him in that conversation that, hey, I can offer something different in the receiving game compared to those two, but I can still help out with special teams too. If you had to pick one to keep for potentially that final wide receiver spot in Kansas City, would you rather keep Tyquan Thornton, Skyy Moore, or Nikko? Type TT for Tyquan Thornton, type SM for Skyy Moore, type NR for Nikko. Tell us in the comments section which one you rather have. Got a great deal we're offering Chiefs fans right now. Nike Chiefs t-shirts are on sale now, plus free shipping at chatsports.com/Chiefs Nike is where you can get these today. And these shirts, they look fantastic. They're Nike gear, so it's not going to cost you that much. And the free shipping as well. That's hard to beat, folks. Go see for yourself. We know that Nike stuff typically isn't that cheap, but this is an opportunity that you can't pass up on. All sorts of different shapes and sizes. We also have other Chiefs merchandise available at that same link. Go see for yourself now. Chatsports.com/ChiefsNike to get yours today. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. That's chatsports.com/ChiefsNike. Now, we mentioned that right now the battle is between Thornton, Moore, and Nikko, potentially for that last wide receiver spot. And what I would tell you is, folks, that when we get to roster cutdowns, which is still a while from right now, don't be discouraged. If you're a Tyquan Thornton fan, if you're rooting for him to make the 53-man roster, if he doesn't make the initial 53-man roster, he could still hang around the practice squad and just be ready for when his name is called, which last year, of course, he was hanging around the practice squad for a bit, and we just know, just based on how this goes, somebody's going to go down. There's going to be injuries, some sorts. You got to be ready for that moment, and that's where Tyquan Thornton could come in. But you look at this receiving core, I really like this group with Xavier and Hollywood and Rashee Rice. I think that this group is looking pretty strong. Jalen Royals should be moving up the depth chart. Juju is still here. This is the best group in a while for the Kansas City Chiefs. They have options to work with. Now let's see them capitalize and take advantage of it, and hopefully Taekwon can keep on shining. And if Andy Reid is saying good things, then you're doing something right. Thanks for joining us here this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. If you enjoyed today's show, like the video. We certainly would appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.